this is salt?
So everything you see from here on out is going to be salt.
Wow. Ooh-wee.
So how long have you been working here? 31 years. 31 years. Come here in 1993 and they gave me 2 weeks worth of work part-time, and I don't think I've ever been hired full-time. But they gave me a letter of employment a couple years ago. I turned them down and told them it was a jobby instead of a hobby. I didn't want to play no more.
Right.
So they told me just keep doing what you're doing.
You got a light on.
So I bet you have seen
living a dream. She's so excited.
Now we've gone down to 3 miles.
crazy.
Any of you might ask, and then we'll give you a chance on our 4th level. Currently, we are 6 levels deep, so you are not in the deepest point of our mine, but you've seen 2 miles of the mine getting here. You need to understand that that is a small part of what is actually here. They are actually doing some production elsewhere in the mine, maybe 2 or 3 different locations or work headings in the mine currently, as we're standing here talking. But there is a total of just over 24 miles of tunnel underground now. So getting to here, you've only seen a small part of what is actually here. Our 4th level, you are standing at 700 feet in depth. So straight vertical, 700 feet to the surface. We're leaving 80 feet of salt between the tunnels vertically. So 80 feet through this floor will be the ceiling of the 5th level, which is a tunnel looks just like this. So on to 6, and then 3 tunnels stacked above us going up to the surface. All of this in a deposit that was left here millions of years ago. Geologists tell us Jurassic period. An ancient seabed. It was called the Sundance Sea that left this salt deposit at sea level. Our valley right here is just a little over 5,000 feet above sea level. This main deposit is 5,000 feet down. It is at current sea level where it left this salt deposit. But fortunately for us, sometime over the last several million years, maybe when the mountains were being formed and pushed up, that salt deposit down at 5,000 feet has been pushed to the surface only here. The salt deposit is much bigger. Runs from here clear down under to Carlsbad, New Mexico. But it is very deep. The same deposit, but it's between 5,000 and 10,000 feet before you hit the salt everywhere but here, where it was pushed up. Very fortunate for us because it allows us to rock mine it in this fashion, which is the only way to keep it a true natural mineral sea salt. Most salts around the world are solution mined or evaporated, and anytime those are the mining processes, it's not true to a natural mineral sea salt anymore because all the minerals are lost. Yes, correct. If you look at the lines in this face right here, you can see how they're running vertical, leaning a little bit to the left, but pretty much standing, right? That is proof that at some point it's been altered and pushed up, the fact that it stands. A natural occurring salt deposit should lay horizontal, so the lines should be running this way. The benefit we gain from that, other than it being pushed close enough to the surface we can rock mine in this fashion, is mine strength. This is a really safe underground operation, primarily because of that. I'll liken it to something you can relate to, which is the trusses of the roof on your house. They don't lay them flat, they turn them on edge to support more load, more weight, down pressure, right? Same principle here with this deposit versus a natural salt deposit that would lay horizontal and not have near as much strength or weight resistance with down pressure. 2 main ways of mining. All of these tunnels we drove through in the other 22 miles that you didn't see, all created through drill blast. So the tunnel we're standing in here, drill blast. That's what this face is. A series of about 80 to 100 holes will be drilled throughout that face. 16 feet deep. It's an 18-foot drill still. We're getting about 16 and a half feet of drill depth out of it. So this whole volume we're standing in, once all them holes are loaded with explosives, it breaks out towards us. 30 feet high, 70 feet wide, advances 16 feet farther with every blast. It yields about 2,000 tons of salt that it breaks out, and about 2,000 pounds of explosives is used to do that. So it's almost a pound per ton ratio. The only thing we do differently is culinary. If it is going to end up for people use on somebody's table, so that we can guarantee our customers first and the FDA that there can never be any blast contaminants in what we're putting on people's tables, we mine it differently. This is an example of where we have been doing that in the past. A big machine we bring in certain locations of the mine and we just grind it off the wall. No blasting involved. If you want to follow me over here, we'll get a closer look at what we use. It can be very selective and really mine. It's a big track excavator with a rotor. So the excavator is moving it up and down, side to side, powering it. It's about a 2-foot wide drum with carbide tip picks on it that it's placing against the wall and just grinding it. If you guys are familiar with real salt, that's real salt before it's crushed and packaged. The color flakes you see in it are a blend of just over 60 minerals at trace amounts. And that gives it the color, and that keeps it as a true natural mineral sea salt as well. I heard somebody on the way down, couldn't hear all of it, but I heard something about Himalayan salt lamps. So you can see, you pull the light away, you see the color through that, the minerals, right? The darker it is, the more minerals it would be, and the denser it would be, but almost all of them. To some degree, you can put a lamp through.
So that's just the color before the powder.
Before what?
Before it's actually grinded powder.
Yeah, correct. Yep, exactly right.
So when they're making the different types of animal salts, they're selecting for different coloring?
Correct. So minerals are not water soluble, right? So we will select locations in the mine where we know the salt is testing about 97% chlorides. The remaining 3% is a blend of these 60 plus minerals at trace amount. Typically where we will mine for agriculture will be somewhere more around 94% chlorides. The remaining 6% is minerals. So about twice the minerals. Why do we do this? Because the minerals are not water soluble. Your animal will lick that piece and not care about texture. People are more fickle than that, and if it was more than the 3% in their shaker salt, they would get a sandy, gritty texture, which turned people off. Even though the minerals are valuable for you and your animals, right?
Turns me off.
Yeah, he
Does it?
struggles with it even
Yeah,
at that.
even at that percent. So, yeah.
bad.
But think of it this way.
Mr. Honesty.
Think of it this way. You know, you might get a little grit once in a while, but it's for your health. So
Suck it up.
Suck it up.
Suck it up, buttercup.
I'm the opposite. I take it and I lay it out on a paper towel and I pull out all the dark ones.
Yeah.
And I eat those first. Like,
Yeah.
You can't eat.
We have a lot of customers, everybody's different, right? We have a lot of customers that use our kosher grade, which is a little bit bigger chunk than the granular, right? For the crunch. They like the crunch.
We put it on our bread.
Yeah, we put it on our
texture of
bread.
that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So everybody's a little different, which is all right.
So if I heard you correctly, it's only certain parts of the mine have some things.
Yeah, so it's all some areas we get the minerals, everything goes down. You know, the closest to rock mine, I know to us, West Campus, they did not get the word on the other. They have a shot.
What's the time for production?
Yeah, great question. What's your name?
Bobby.
So Bobby just asked a great question about longevity of our mine here. How long are we going to be producing salt? The easy answer is a few hundred years. To explain that in a little more detail, I told you our deepest point right now is 1,000 feet. In a deposit that is 5,000 feet big. So we've only been mining in company history, 65 years, we've been mining from surface to 1,000 feet in 65 years, and we'll have 4,000 feet below that that's still untouched. And from surface to 1,000 feet in depth, I estimate we mined about 50% of what is available. So we've got another 60 or so years here, and then 4,000 more feet, so hundreds of course.
Unless you guys do a really good job of the road.
Take that leg and get that 15% off.
How many engineers do we have on staff?
2 mine engineers. And they do, actually we use the one mine engineer a lot for our surface build outs and construction and stuff. The other one focuses on the underground. So he's doing the surveying, the underground surveying, creating the map that I talked about, 3D on his computer. Unfortunately, we can only print 2D. But we have printed 2D maps, and then on his computer you can look at it in 3D.
You have to worry about aerial for the people working.
No, so
There's enough area.
do you hear that
Yeah.
hum in the background? So that is a big vent fan running. And our sole reason for ventilating the mine is diesel emissions. We're using a lot of diesel powered equipment down here to do the mining, and we don't want to expose miners and guests to heavy concentrations of diesel exhaust. So we're always pulling fresh air in, drag it through the tunnels and exhaust it back out to keep it fresh. That system can be off on the weekend and I can have a group down here and our oxygen levels do not change. So we only do it for DPN.
So the 60 minerals, is it magnesium or what?
So, see those black stripes in it right up there? One of the minerals that's in our salt is manganese. And that is the black that you see in there is manganese. We got a lot of professional chefs that use and love real salt. They tell me that manganese is the mineral most responsible for better flavor. So yeah.
And it's mixed in all of it.
It's mixed in all.
Well, all right. Don't be a salty heifer
That's right.
all your life.
Our production rate has been just about 750,000 tons annually. So 700,000 tons annually comes out of the mine. What is culinary salt is about 4,000 of those tons annually. So not even 1% of the salt by weight that comes out of the mine is culinary. Most of it's de-icing. Road salt, tonnage wise is road salt. Next would be agriculture or
Right.
for animals.
And from a processing perspective, it's a lot less processing for de-icing salt, right,
absolutely.
than what you're doing for
Yeah,
humans.
a lot less money goes into producing road salt than it does ag or culinary.
And where's all the processing occur? Like for the
On
culinary?
the surface.
Okay. How about
Yeah,
the
so
culinary?
it's all mined here, and we crush and even finish to finished goods packaging everything that is industrial and ag market. Culinary salt is the only one that is mined here and crushed here, goes to our food grade facility in Heber City for packaging.
That's where we were yesterday.
It's crushed here, but on the surface.
Correct, on surface.
So how many different uses for salt from this mine is there?
I think currently we have about 80 different products.
And that's all we're from human to animals.
To soil, because y'all even do agriculture. So it's just human, animal, and plants, pretty much.
Yep. Yep. Well, if you think about it, right? I'm going to go into a little history lesson here for you. Old time history. Salt used to trade ounce for ounce with gold. Why? Doesn't that seem just ridiculous today? I mean, it just seems crazy to me. Primarily this reason. Salt is necessary for life.
That's right.
You ask about people, animals, plants. Salt's
All life.
necessary for life. Gold's just pretty to look at. So when you didn't have Amazon and couldn't have it on your doorstep the next day, it might be quite expensive and difficult and timely to get salt to your region or your area, yet you had to have it. That's why it was worth so much. One of the most valued traded products in old history there was.
Kind of starts taxation, right, too?
Correct,
And
correct.
as well as salary, the word
The word salary derives from that because salary and salt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was used as currency. That's why
Yes,
salary.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we wish it still traded.
Yeah, right?
With gold. Unfortunately for us, it does not. That's right.
So people ask us a lot about pink Himalayan salt. So in comparison, what would you say? Real salt versus pink Himalayan?
Us, the Himalayan. You know, I can tell you what I do. So, all salt deposits, depending on where they are located geographically, will be slightly different. No two will ever be identical. Himalayan is one salt that is fairly close to others. The difference I know of is sulfur. Sulfur is one of the 60 plus minerals at trace amounts in our salt, right? It's in Himalayan salt. Their salt is quite high in sulfur. Ours is parts per million, barely even registers as a mineral. And so I've done this test a lot. You folks do it too to see if you get a different result. Take a chunk of our salt and a chunk of Himalayan and put it out in front of your animal and see which one they take first. Every time I have done this test, they have chosen our salt before Himalayan, and I believe it's because they have better smell and taste than we do, and they can smell and taste the sulfur in it, or they don't notice it in ours.
So I don't know how true this is. Is the pink Himalayan, is it coming from the current ocean now, or is it being mined from ancient oceans?
No, it's an ancient ocean, but I believe, again, to my knowledge, it is not underground. It's on the surface. So I'm going to relate it to you like this. Himalayan salt's exposed to the surface. Most of the salt that ends up on people's tables today is evaporated off of the Mediterranean Sea, also exposed to the surface.
Yeah.
So you tell me what you want to choose for your family. Something that has been in the earth, covered, protected, not exposed to any pollutants or contaminants for millions of years, versus something that pollutants have rolled into for hundreds of the last several hundred years. For me, it's a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. And anywhere you see this flour or powder, it's just salt dust. But a wet tongue is a lot of points of contact.
That's a lot of
and
salt.
you're gonna get a lot of salt. So I recommend brushing it off a little bit wherever you're going to.
What's that?
This is Redmond's real salt before it's crushed, and we are able to get this as a token for being here. Now, I'm excited.
This is all salt, by the way. We're gonna talk about it. Let's go.
All right, fam. So, in the mine, we had an amazing talk,
Oh, my
conference
God.
on what the salt is, where it came from, all of the ways that it's more beneficial to you than any other kind of salt.
Black's tropical, a place to soul family. And now we know they take a seed and make it grow. Black's tropical, Savannah's own family.
They do nothing to it. Once you get it, it is exactly the way they mine it from these mines. Only thing they will do is crush it to the point where it's palatable for human consumption. And and some of this is actually just for animals.
Yes.
They'll leave it in big blocks so they can lick it. They get their mineral.
That's how we're going to rig. Okay. So that's how trophy rock's made. You'll go through on the same weight.
Salt and roads for,
Yeah.
icy roads. So.
He said for animals in big blocks to lick. So you calling me an animal because I licked the wall.
Yeah, we did lick the walls.
We licked the walls, and it was pretty satisfying. I can't reach
There
it.
was a lot of black somewhere. Right there on that corner. Is that where it was?
Yeah, it didn't look a long here. It might have been mostly pit. I know I found some somewhere a while back.
Salty. Freaky. Though my lips are really dry right now.
So guys, just knowing that this salt mine was here since Jurassic times, it's been covered and protected to where it is all natural and you don't have to worry about anything. Nothing grows on this salt, so it don't get contaminated. It is amazing. So,
It's beautiful. And you
yeah.
can actually just
Lick it. Just we're gonna take a couple pieces of salt home, and all we have to do is just lick it from time to time, and we'll get over 60 minerals
Trace
every
minerals.
time we do it. So that is amazing.
I can lick this probably for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And without getting rid of it, it'll still be there.
So just know that salt is important, but all salts are not created equal. So you want to make sure you get a good, healthy salt. Watch the video so you can learn what Redmond's offer. Their salt is real, and just to be here and get the knowledge and see it for yourself, it's just amazing. And we thought we had to bring our soil family along because it's important to have. They will tell you to cut salt out of your diet. Yes, some salt you need to cut out of your diet, but this is one that you definitely need a little bit every day.
Yeah, so they told us all things that they do to regular table salt for you to actually, that you actually use at your home. But none of that is done here. So you are getting pure natural minerals that your body actually needs. So
Yes.
like he says, salt is vital for life. And at one time, salt was measured up to gold. And your weight in salt was measured up to your weight in gold because this is how food was preserved and people was able to protect themselves from all kind of things. So if you want your body to intake all the water that you're drinking and use it effectively in your body, you have to have the minerals there. If you don't have the minerals, your body just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
And because we living in a time of convenience, people don't usually eat the things that they need to eat to get the minerals that they need. So here you go. Add some real salt to your diet and get a better life.
You know, I always say that sometimes you're not sick, you're just thirsty. But not only are you thirsty, you need the right minerals to quench that thirst. So do your research and see what Redmond's real salt is all about. We're gonna put out a lot of information in these videos about this. It's just amazing. Salt.
It just makes it so it's less easy. More efficient, right?
Took the whole man with it.
He said take some tokens home. Yeah.